It's Easter Friday on Live on Lockdown, so we had to speak to one of the kids from the racing camp. One of the dudes that we've watched develop for the last couple of seasons, coming out of a short period on 65s, 85s, then 85 seniors, now a 125cc player. Welcome to Live on Lockdown, Josh Johnson.
Hi, Matt. Thanks very much for having me.
Our absolute pleasure, my friend. It's like we said, it's cool to chat to all of you guys behind the scenes. I wish we'd be doing it under slightly better circumstances, but no matter what, it's great to be chatting.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Getting it done at least.
Yeah, man, of course. Look, you've been watching all the Live on Lockdowns. I've been chatting to you about it. And what have you been thinking about what the guys have been having to say? And how jealous are you of the Brawler and Mikey Pentecost on their farms?
Yeah, as you say, I've been keeping around all of the live on lockdowns. I'm jealous of them. Well, we do have some space here to ride at least, but they definitely do have a lot more space than us.
Let's talk about your little journey before we talk about what's been happening in the last couple of months. Obviously, coming out of a little bit of Farm Jam and GXCCs, and then arriving at the 125s, racing with the family. It's been quite a journey for you, eh?
Yeah, it has. We started at Farm Jam on 65s before there was even a junior class at Farm Jam. And then we moved over to GXCC when I was on 85. And then since then, we haven't missed a single race.
What's the deal with the family as well? Because obviously we watch all of you guys coming through, 4 kids on the gate, busy for mom and dad, but also development as well, because you were the first one to come up to the 125s, but it looks like Bruv is joining you pretty soon, eh?
Yeah, it's crazy. We're very busy, all of us racing. And then I think Troy will be on 125 next year.
He grabbed your bike earlier this year, but we'll talk about that just now. Let's go back to last year when you were racing on the Farm Jams, GXCCs, quite a lot of racing, but your big results were starting to come
last
at
year
the
was
Farm
quite
Jams.
busy. Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
So GXCC was our main focus last year. And then we try to do a few farm jams where we get an open weekend or it's not that busy on the calendar.
Yeah, the video that we've got playing out here at the moment is round number 5, where you lined up on the Pro Bs. Branson was there, a couple of key players, but you probably had one of your best rides of the season at that event. Oh, looks like we might have lost Joshy there.
Yeah,
a
so
little
farm
bit.
jam was a nice one for me.
Carry on talking, Josh.
Coming to the race, I knew getting the whole shot was going to be a key player because it's very dusty out at dirt tracks. And then we had some good dices throughout the race with Kyle and Lowe. And then I think I came out second for the day.
Is the idea of the Farm Jams for you to obviously get your confidence a little bit higher going into the GXCCs? Because it's a different vibe at the GXCCs, isn't it? Even for yourself, you're a confident kid, but I can see you've got a slightly different look on your face at the GXCCs.
Yeah, farm jams for me is a lot more relaxed than GXCC. It's not as, or you don't have to take it as serious. It's a lot more fun. So we just go out to farm jam to get some training in and some riding.
Tell me about the ride that you're on at the moment. Obviously, you've been comfortable on the last, I think, season and a half now on the Yami 125. Is she still running good? And are you able to stretch the legs as fast as
Yes,
the
I think I've had
KTMs and the Huskies?
Yeah, so I think I've had my bike for 2 or 3 years now. Still going strong. We've only done 1 or 2 piston changes on it. I think this bike's just unbreakable.
Yeah, that's what they always said about the Yamis. Reliability is what it's all about. So then talk to me about the early season injury. Obviously, we were there with you, and it was a funny situation, warming up, and then didn't even get to take the gates at that first Farm Jam.
Yeah, so Farm Jam's a different story. I went up to the bathroom on my bike, and coming back down, I decided I'm going to ride around the MX track a bit. And then I took a silly tumble and ended up fracturing my wrist.
So that's when your bruv grabbed the bike. But you pretty much just come back into racing now. You actually sent us a couple of little goon videos. So obviously getting the green light. And this downtime for lockdown is probably a good time to just get the recovery period going and make sure you're good and strong for when we go racing again.
Yeah, so I got the green light from the doctor on Monday, and then the first thing I did when I got home was hop onto the bike and ride a bit. But yeah, now we've definitely got some time to get training and get back up to full fitness.
Let's talk about how the year started. Brand new project that the guys at Farm Jam and Vans Racing rolled out. Just give us your opinion of what went down on that crazy day at the Race to Ride initiative. Go ahead, Joshy, if you can hear me. We're just talking about the Race to Rides. A little bit of a delay there, talking to Joshy. As soon as I hear his voice, though, we'll hand him the question once again. So, Joshy, the idea was obviously to try and find a factory ride.
Really cool for me. It was the first time I'd been a part of such an event. I was really nervous. I'm sure all of the riders were nervous going into it. And then, yeah, it was a great day out there. We all had our chances to ride our own bike and then the factory bike and put up our best times. And then I made a few mistakes on the day and also had a few falls. But
yeah, you can carry on there, Joshy.
Can you hear me, Matt?
Yeah, we're good. You can carry on. All right, that's fine, Joshy. We'll as soon as you can hear my voice, you can carry on. But yeah, the Race to Ride initiative, 5 guys lined up, 1 factory seat was available, and certainly one of the big threats on the day was Josh Johnson. He was able to run, I think, close second place to Dav Smith up until the halfway marker, and then it was clear in the afternoon session that everyone was chasing for second place.
Yeah, so after lunch, the lunch break and the tire change, I think it was clear that Devon was going to run away with it. He was on form all day. He never made any mistakes on any track, and he was really riding fast.
Yeah, it does sound like we're going to be talking to Leon either later this week or early next week. Definitely stories. I know. Did you see that almost over the front? Definitely wants to go bigger on the Race to Ride format. And, well, it's clear that it worked because that kid that got the seats has been absolutely pinning it this year.
Yeah, it's a great initiative. I think if you can get it going a lot more often, then you can really get some good riders out of it. And then Devon this year on the OR3 Pro Grades, he's just riding so well.
Yeah, look, you are definitely a rider to watch. We know coming back from the injuries. Last year, first year on the 125s, towards the end of the year, you were on the podium almost every single round. And then this year for the GXCCs, slightly more of a challenge this year. Definitely, those Husky guys have started to really pick up the pace this season.
Yeah, so coming to this year, our new competition wasn't going to be easy. There's quite a few big names. There's Matthew Wilson, John Buerta, and also Carl McKenzie that had some mechanicals throughout the 2 rounds. And then in the next coming rounds, Derek Karam's definitely going to be back on full pace.
How did the first round of the GXCC suit your style, or do you think that was a little too much twisty? I know you guys like to just hang cable as much as you can.
So GXCC 1 was definitely my favorite one so far. There was a lot of turns and nice and tight and twisty for me. I don't really like the long straights because I don't think I have the legs of the Husqvarnas and the KTMs. But then, unfortunately, I think on lap 2 or 3, I lost my rear brakes and then just had to nurse it home.
Yeah, everyone had lost their brakes at that first race. Everyone was cooking brakes, and it was challenging because it was, if you weren't braking hard, you were accelerating hard. So guys were chewing brakes and tires.
Mm.
What have you
Yeah.
guys been up to on lockdown then? Everyone's been telling us about all their little training secrets. What have you got?
Well, I've only been allowed to get back on the bike on Monday, but otherwise I've been getting some running in, doing some small training, and I'm definitely going to be riding a lot more now and training a lot harder to get back ready and for the next rounds.
Apart from the financial challenge for mom and dad getting all the kids racing, what do you think it's going to take to get? Well, at some point, there's probably going to be two. I'm just trying to think how old he is. Maybe three of you on the 125s, but definitely two of you on the 125s. Probably at the end of this year.
Yeah, so Troy's definitely be going up to 125s next year. And then I think I can stay another 2 years on 125, but I'll see if I can jump up to 250 1 year early.
Yeah, I mean, that 250 gate this year, pretty much half of the players from the podiums of the 125s last year jumped up. So that 250 gate has become terrifying now.
Yeah, so basically the whole 125 class from last year jumped up to 250 this year. And then so it's opened up some podium positions for us, but there's definitely some new oaks there that want podium positions.
Well, I've been speaking off comms between the Farm Jam guys and the GXCC guys. It's obvious now with the extension that we're going to lose GXCC round number 4, but it does look like June was probably the next time we're all going to go racing. So that's going to be a crazy, crazy gate. Everyone's going to be so desperate to go racing by then.
Yeah, so I definitely think the next round of GXCC is going to be packed. Everyone wants to get back into racing. And then, yeah, when I was at the doctor on Monday, he made it clear to me that there was going to be no racing until June.
Yeah, no, that's become a reality now with the new announcement. But yeah, as long as we all get through this and we can all high five each other and go racing again, it's what it has to be. It's a difficult situation, but we're doing what we can here at Hollywood and LiveX to just make sure we can introduce all the fans out there to the riders behind the helmets.
Yeah, I think the Hollywood Hills and LiveX are bringing together a great initiative. It definitely it keeps us busy in the downtime, so it's pretty cool.
Josh, you're an absolute star. Thank you so much for joining us here. As I say with all the other riders, this is your chance to give a shout out to anyone who's been helping you along the way.
Well, I just want to say thank you to my Canny Bike, my mom, my dad, and my opa, who have always supported me through these years of racing. And then to Uncle Derek from RMM, who's also helped us out lots of times with our racing. And then to all the other small sponsors that help us out with some kits and gear.
Joshy, that's absolutely brilliant. Thanks for joining us. You're our youngest star that we've spoken to so far on Live on Lockdown. And just give a big high five to all your brothers, your little sister, and your mom and dad. And we'll see you on the gate soon.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Joshy. Okay, so we come back from Middelburg and we get ourselves to go into the deepest, darkest areas of Randfontein. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and that is Easter weekend, it's going to be our second quaddie. The guy who has more wins at GXCCs than any other rider on the quad gate, we call him Captain CrossFit, Gideon Jacobs, will be on the mic. That's going to be 2 o'clock tomorrow. Come and join us when we talk about his quad racing with Marty, and what he can do about getting his first win going of 2020.